Here we are. I have a 2011 Audi A4 Quattro. Nothing too special. You shouldn't be worried about the Audi because Naptown Tuner's selling it. This is my YouTube channel here, and I talk all about these cars. And what I did to this car was I took the engine out and I took it all apart and I fixed all the stuff that commonly fails on it. And real quick on that, I can't spend too much time on this kind of stuff, but let me just run down on what happened. These cars have oil consumption, so I took the pistons out, and the pistons were all in good shape. So I explain everything in my oil consumption video, but I cleaned the pistons because they get carbon buildup, and the oil scraper rings can't sufficiently scrape the oil back down in the engine, so it burns in the combustion chamber. So since this engine was original with only 94,000 miles, I was able to just repair the engine. And the other thing is, the reason why I acquired this car is because it came out of time. So don't consider other cars unless they've had the oil consumption issue taken care of and the timing issue taken care of, or else you're gonna have to fit the bill. Just read my comments and see how many people have had to fit the bill and were unaware of buying these cars without doing those issues first beforehand. So I've also, all the maintenance is done. Brand new oil change, synthetic oil change. It's every 10,000 miles, and I believe that it works perfectly fine if you use full synthetic engine oil. It's got brand new coolant. We've got everything was inspected down to the air filter. I replaced the exhaust clamp down here. The car's got a 4-wheel alignment. I did a video on that. It's average condition car. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I'd say it's probably average condition because it's not, it's a little couple scrapes here and there, but nothing that grabs your attention necessarily. You have to look pretty close. And I'll do the full rundown on that. But brand new pads and rotors in the front for the brakes. If you wanted to pay me a little bit more, I could do rear pads and rotors, but the rear will probably last another 20,000 miles or so. The tires will probably last you till winter. It does have Michelin Pilot Sports, the previous customer put on there, and that's always a good sign. Whenever the previous owner spends good money on tires, it's usually a responsible customer that cares about their car. To me, that's always just a sign. But we've got a highly optioned car because this thing, it's got Premium Plus, but not all Premium Pluses have navigation with backup camera, backup sensors. So we've got the LED running lights, we've got the xenon headlights. These are auto headlights, so they come on with a light sensor. We also have auto sensing wipers for the rain, and you can turn that off and on and adjust it however you wish. Your panel, that's a nice touch. Let's walk around to the side here. We've got 17-inch rims. We've got turn signals in the mirrors. This car does have only one key. A lot of the times you'll find that with these cars. But it's not a big deal to get another one. Most locksmiths can hook you up cheaper than the dealership, just so you know. LED taillights, that's a nice touch. Really powerful, awesome taillights comparatively. We've got the sensors in the bumper, so it gives you an audible beep for backup sensors as well as the backup camera. The backup camera is up in here. The direct injected engine gives this Quattro all-wheel drive car a reported 27 miles to the gallon on the highway, and something like, I can't remember off the top of my head, I should know, but I think it's about 21 city or something, like 22 city. I've driven lots of Uber and all over the city. I typically average about anywhere between 21 to 23 miles to the gallon combined, really. And that's just what I was able to do in car and Q5. Sometimes it went down to about 18 or 19 if I was trying to drive like a maniac and make money. But I haven't done that in over a year. I haven't sold very many cars lately. I don't do too many. I put a lot of time into the ones I do, though. All these cars that I'm going to start doing, I'm going to be documenting just like this one. And this is the first one that I've really run all the way through. So let's take a look inside. And so I'm still going to clean it up just a little bit better. I wear work boots, and I've got a little bit of dirt in that mat, but that's not a big deal. I'll clean it up before someone takes a look at it. What we've got is navigation with backup camera, so You can put in whatever you need to put in. It's nice to not have to always have your phone. Map here, you know, for instance, you've got your button here. You can go detail map, give it commands that follows you around, and
detail map,
as well as it's nice to have the compass built into the mirror here, and these are auto dimming mirrors. We've got Quattro all-wheel drive, nice wood trim. There's a AMI that you can hook up your phone right here. There's a Bluetooth that you can buy separately. I've got one, you know, if you wanted, and you can Bluetooth your phone and play your phone over the media button. So you just you've got these side, it's really easy and user friendly. You get these side buttons, and then everything else correlates to these four corners. So you would, for instance, go down to Sirius AM FM, or if you wanted to play media, you would come up here to source, and then you would pick your source. You can even, since this one's a premium plus, you can even store music on the hard drive. And here's what your key looks like. How many speedometers do you see that register 180? And you know, it's a 4-cylinder though, so this is one of the safest cars that you can possibly drive. Got a back seat here with these seats that fold down. Here first we have our center console. A lot of times this might break, but this car probably wasn't ever used by children because it doesn't look like it. And they call this a 60-40 split rear, and that's a really nice trunk space back there. We'll go ahead and pop the trunk and take a better look at that. Coming back here, we have, like I say, I'll clean this out a little bit better with my vacuum cleaner, but it's pretty close to being clean anyway. We've got hooks for our groceries. We've got, I believe that's a 10-inch subwoofer. Spare tire jack down there. And let's take a look at whatever kind of dingers we can find real quick. That's just paint. There's no body damage so far. We're looking, I mean, there's, like I said, average condition, but probably maybe a little bit above average because the body condition is really pretty straight. There's some paint flaws right here in the hood. There's a little bit of a dinger in the bumper right here and right here where that tow hook cover is. So that's pushed in just a tad and probably doesn't fit perfect since there's just a little bit of a dinger right here. But ultimately, it's straight and everything's in good shape. You have to walk really close up to it to see it. Everything else over here is looking good until we get to this door right here. There's just a very small dent that could probably be popped out. All these things could be addressed easily by a body shop if you're a perfectionist, but this is a used car, and it's a slamming deal. We've got a very small scratch right here, and then you're pretty much always going to see a little bit of scuffs right here on the bumper from people moving stuff in and out. And then there's just a couple scuffs right here, maybe a little bit right here, but it's all stuff that you have to look up real close, and I'm just showing you everything being 100%, so you don't have to waste your time car shopping. You just looked inside and out, upside, one down, the other. You know exactly what you're getting. So the tread depth on the tires, what you want to look for is this little, you can rub your finger down the tread block, and you'll typically find this thing right here, and that's called the wear bar. You see that? A little sticking up right there. And the wear bar is when you need to replace the tires. That's when it's at 330 seconds. So this one's probably about 630 seconds. And the rears are worn a little bit more. That's why I had to do an alignment on this car. If you'll see the wear bar on the rear, it's getting pretty close. So these tires will probably last until winter time. Some people could push them a lot more than that, and you know, that's all things that just keeps the price down, because I could have put 4 tires on it and rear brakes on it, and I would have wanted a lot more for it. So these are things that you can get into the car, drive it for a little while, and then you can put a little bit more money into it after a while. I do that to keep the price down, like I said, but I'm giving this car away with the amount of work I did to it. So I mean, this is practically completely come through. I don't know anything else that it would need off the top of my head. Been through it, checked the videos.